Hello everyone, I'm Tone300 and welcome back to Stormworks. So, this is our survival series, our career mode, and we have a little friend come to visit us. A Yorkshire Terrier. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I'm just going to run him upstairs. He's literally just appeared, so just as I was about to start recording, a new dog has appeared. So I'm going to take him upstairs. I wonder if this will happen at the start of every episode. Probably not. Where's our other dog? He's abandoned us. Do they despawn? Oh, it'd be a shame if they despawn. Anyhow. So what I want to cover in this episode is, well, as you saw last time, the starter boat just doesn't cut it. So we need a new boat, so it's time to get building. Now I've done a little bit on the hull, which we're going to run through now. Let's go to load. So as you can see, I've done a few saves. So I started off with this basic sort of hull shape. I just sort of designed it block by block, lay it all out, and I thought, yeah, I quite like the idea of that. It's two-dimensional, just so we can see the shape of it, and I saved it as a vehicle. So if you want to copy it, it's fairly straightforward. We've got some wedges. Basically I laid all the wedges out, the 1x1, the 1x2, the 1x4. I did the same pyramid, inverse pyramid, 1x1s, and then 1x2s, and then the 1x4s, and these are the main blocks I'm using to build the hull. So whichever ones we click on, we should be able to, match them up if we click on the right piece. Obviously use the J, K and L keys. So as you can see, that one went there, that one went there, and so forth. If you actually click on the erase, you can also see what it is. And at the back, we use the 4x1 pieces, or 1x4, whatever you want to call them, but we stood them upright to get that nice steep face. And then a 1x2 at the bottom. So that was our basic sort of two-dimensional layout. I then went on to design the actual hull itself. So this was a little bit more tricky, getting all the pieces to sort of match up. But yeah, you just have to play around with the inverse pyramids. I mean, if we were to delete, so that was actually a different one. That's actually a 2x2 there. So that was this 2x2 pyramid. So you have to use some of the 2x2s as well, just to get the shape to work. Like so. These are mainly wedge pieces along the side. And at the back I use some larger ones, some 4x4s. So if we have a look at like those, for example, you can see they're 4x4 pyramids. Just like so. Now this was like a basic hull design I made up. I'm not sure how effective it is. I mean, if we spawn this in now, I think it capsizes. It's got no weights. And it's so sort of wedge shaped, it's just falling over onto its side. So let's return that to the workbench. Next I added some weights. And then I'll just quickly show you the weights inside. So I just added these at the bottom. It lowers the centre of mass, makes it sit in the water nicer, stops it tipping over. There you go. It floats. We can jump on. It leans a little bit, but that's not too bad at all. So next, I went on to add some walls to the side. So this is going to be our main deck area, and these are like some side walls just to stop the water spilling over. I've added a ladder at the back. I've redesigned the back a bit, so those 4x4 pieces that I'm still carrying around are now gone, because I needed a flat back to mount the ladder, so we've got a way in and out of the water. So it's just redesigned that with some wedges and gave it a little bit of a squarer back. Again, I'll spawn that in for you. As you can see, it floats, bobs around a bit, but it needs a lot more weight still. Obviously once we start adding a cabin and engines and everything else, it's going to get quite heavy anyway. So then we've gone to adding a cabin. Now I played around with various different designs on the cabin. I was actually trying to go a lot taller, but it kept sort of capsizing after a little while. It was too top heavy. So I took the top deck off, lowered it down to underneath. There was a door at the front and these windows were on top with another sort of cabin area on top. I've redesigned it. We've got a door at the back. Still got some stairs going up. I don't know if I'm going to keep these or not yet, but I like the idea of them. Then we can walk up on top and have a good look around. It's like a search area, just to give us a high sort of vantage point. So if we spawn this one in now, actually let me show you just quickly inside. So this will be inside the main cabin, and then I've put a little door at the front to go down below. So we'll have another door hatch going through into the central hull area, and then one going into the back. This will be like the engine room at the back. And I'm debating whether to use this as like a living quarters or whether to use this for fuel storage, or I'm not too sure. It'll probably fuel storage. I might build some nice big fuel tanks in here. So yeah, let's go and spawn this into the world and see what it looks like. You can see as well, so far the cost is $7,382, so the price of this boat is creeping up. We've only got a 25k budget, and look how nice it sits at the moment. It's sitting a little bit heavy at the front, but that's because we've got no engines or anything in the back yet, so I've allowed for that. It's actually starting to lean, isn't it? Why is it leaning? Oh dear, it's about to sink. It's probably not quite light enough, not quite heavy enough, it'd be too light. So I need to redesign that, or add some more weight to it. Let's return it to the workbench. So that's where we're at the moment with it. Now I could add some more weight blocks. We don't have that many, it's just one layer going through at the moment. Or we could start adding the engines and see how that affects the weight. Now I'm toying with the idea of using the medium engines, or look, they've got a massive 80. So we put one large engine in there. I would like to do a modular engine as well, but let's have a look how the large engine sits. It's quite big. Yeah, I don't think that's really going to fit in this boat. Medium engine, loads of room. We could probably put two of these in and run it fine. I think that's what we'll do, just to get the thing up and running, and later on we'll redesign it with modular engines. So in order to get this, I mean, we could have one central engine, but I'm not sure it's going to be powerful enough for this size vessel. So what we might have to do is level out this bottom area here, just to give us a bit more space to work with. Well, I've left some space at the back because we've got to connect up all the drives chain, like all the clutch, gearbox and generator, things like that. So with that extra weight in there, how's that sitting now? It seems to be sat a little bit better, doesn't it? Still slightly heavy at the front. But again, the more we add to this, the more it's going to balance itself out. So we're going to need things like propellers. I think I'm just going to go for these small propellers at the moment. They've only got a mass of 3 though, they're not very heavy, but let's place those on the end here. We're going to need a gearbox, which has a mass of only 1, surprisingly. Clutch, mass of 2, so none of these are very heavy, are they? So we might need weight blocks. Well, a battery, how heavy are those? I'm going to go for the medium battery. So they're 60, they're quite heavy. And although there's not really room at the back, I think we could place them here somewhere. Yeah, we'll put it there. See the centre of mass move back then. So propellers, we want, I would say there. Okay. So that's kind of ready to set up. I'm not going to add these items yet, we'll do that in a separate video. We will add some fuel tanks. I think we're going to go for the large ones. These have got a mass of 22, so I like to keep these quite central because when they're empty they're obviously lighter than when they're full, so I don't really want to be shifting weight around the boat too much. Again, let's wonder what that block is there. Is that? Yeah, that's the outside of the boat. We can't take that away. This one, no. So the large tanks don't really fit very well. Oh, I don't think these are big enough unless I put a whole load of them all the way along. I guess my other option is to do this. So now we've just got a central walkway. And our fuel tanks. I don't really want to add them towards the front, so that's fine where they are. In fact, if anything, they want to go more towards the back. So we could move the battery further back. There we go, fuel tanks. In fact, let me rotate that the other way round. Then I can put the pipework further back. Okay, let's just start with 4 tanks. Because how much are these? They're only $20 each, but obviously we need the fuel to fill them as well, which costs. My batteries, oh wow, 1,200 each. They're quite expensive. Very expensive, actually. I do think we need 2 though. Right, let's just spawn that in and see how that's. We're up to 12,000. Looks like it is set a bit better. Okay, so it's sitting in the water a lot better. Okay, how am I upside down? Let's try that again. Not sure what I pressed then, so I end up upside down. Okay. Right, I'm pretty happy with that so far. So that's included a few components into the build. We're going to need somewhere to sit, of course, or stand if we do a helm. I think with this boat actually a helm might look better, standing position. Vehicle control. These are 150, these are 100. The seats are cheaper. Well, that's strange. The thing is, I don't think we're going to be able to see out. We can, but it's not the best view, is it? So let's delete that seat and try the helm. Ah, much better. Actually got a really good vision all the way around there. I like that a lot. And we can even see a little bit behind us as well with the small windows. Yeah, I think this is going to work. I may lose these staircases. Not sure how much they weigh. So we turn it to the workbench. They weigh 6 each, so there's quite a few of them. I could replace it with a ladder, which weigh half as much. So that's an option. We'll have a think about that. We'll see how we get on for weight. So yeah, that's where we're at the moment. What do you think so far? I think we'll come back and do another episode and get the engine in. See if we can get it started. And then maybe we'll do some logic and see if we can get it out for a rise. Yeah, so let me know what you think, guys. I think it's going quite well so far, considering what a disaster the first episode was, where we nearly died, nearly sunk. I mean, the boat did sink, didn't it? Luckily we managed to get it back somehow and rescue one person. So yeah, thank you again. Hope you have enjoyed it. Please do subscribe and leave me some comments below and hit that like button. And we'll see you soon for another episode. Bye for now.